The name of my veteran is Harry Ray Fuller. He was born on July 5th, 1924. He served in World War II in the Army Air Corps. The highest rank he achieved was sergeant. This interview takes place in Rockford, Michigan on May 24, 2011. My name is Samantha Nearing, and Mr. Fuller is a friend of mine, and this interview is being conducted for the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress.
16 days to get from there to England, zigzagging and missing submarines. And one day we got mad at our first sergeant because he was being nasty to everybody. And they picked him up and they held him overboard. And told him, you better straighten up for the rest of this trip or you're going over.
You almost had a mutiny, huh?
He didn't go over.
So you took ships over to England?
Excuse me?
You took ships over to England?
Yes.
That's cool.
One, all alone. One ship. You didn't gather them up because of the U-boats.
Oh, yeah.
And
so you weren't in a convoy?
No.
Another point of interest is back then they had the draft, which they no longer have. And they took him right out of the senior class, gave him his diploma, and sent him out.
How old were you when you got drafted?
18. Shortly after that, I was 19.
Did you have like any training, or did you just...
Where'd you go for training?
Illinois. I can't think of the name of the camp there. Just out of Chicago anyways.
How long were
Then
you...
I went to Atlantic City, New Jersey, on the boardwalk, lived in a hotel, and took the rest of my training there. And then they put me into the Signal Corps, and there was nothing going on. I didn't know much about wiring for telephones and all that, so I asked for a transfer. And then I went to Louisiana State University to school there for a couple of months, and then I got shipped to Texas and went to Stinson Field and joined this outfit that was being just organized. And in August, I went in March, remember. And in August, I was on my way overseas. I never got home, never had a furlough to come home. And then it took us all this time 16 days to get over there. Landed in Blackpool. And we had 3 or 4 different spots where the outfit was in England. And we went down to South Hampton before the invasion.
What was your outfit doing? What was your outfit?
We were all mechanics of some description. Motors, props. I was a sheet metal worker. They get shot up, we had to fill the holes.
So when the planes got shut up, you had to go fix them?
Had to fix them so that they could go back up again.
Wow.
And then I got, then I got sent to England, back to England, after I'd been overseas for a year there. Back to England to go to school to learn how to make a airtight patch. So when I got back over in Europe, the Battle of the Bulge was on, and we landed just outside of the Bulge because we didn't have enough gas to get back where we wanted to be.
Wow.
So we had to land there, and
So you landed in Belgium?
we liaised Belgium. And he had to hide in a place because I didn't have my guns or anything with me.
So were you close when you were in Belgium were you close to the front lines then?
Yeah.
Oh, that's close to the
Yeah.
front lines.
So did you
Oh,
hear
you
the
could hear
guns
it.
and
You could hear it. Oh, and when we were in France, right after the invasion, they have these hedgerows.
oh yeah.
Okay, we had our pup tents on this side of the hedgerow, and right over here was all of the anti-aircraft guns banging all night long.
Where did you hide in the church, Harry? That was Belgium.
No, that was Germany.
Oh,
What was that for?
huh.
Well, a bunch of us went just sightseeing. And this was in Mönchengladbach. And there was a church there. We went in and was looking around, wasn't disturbing anything, and here comes all of the Germans with their rifles and everything, and we had to find a place to hide in the church.
Did you have your guns with you then?
Nope.
So you went sightseeing and then the Germans came.
Well, we had control of the city for months, and didn't figure there'd be any trouble. But it was interesting.
So how long did you have to hide in the church?
Yeah.
Pardon?
How long did you have to hide?
Oh, a couple hours is all.
Did they ever find you or no?
No.
Did they come into the church?
They came in, yeah. They just looked more or less in the main part
Where'd you end up hiding?
under the pews.
Weird.
Can I ask one? So, you were in England before the invasion of D-Day, correct?
Oh, yes.
Did you do stuff for the invasion? Did you help prepare, or were you just mainly fixing the airplanes that got shot up over?
Oh, we just worked on the airplanes, and I had to do plexiglass work for the canopies, and we had ones for the props, ones for the engines, one for the landing gears and all that, and the sheet metal work.
That must have kept you busy because a lot of planes
Oh,
came
yeah.
back shot up.
Oh, you better believe it.
So then you said after the invasion of France, you actually went to France shortly after the invasion?
It'd be a couple of weeks, I guess.
And what did you do when you were in France?
Climbed the hill. There were still Germans around, but not as many.
Were you doing the same thing when you were in France, fixing up the airplanes then too?
Oh yes. And we would go ahead of our unit to build a shop so we could have our equipment in there. And so we was right behind. We followed Patton a lot of the way. But it was an experience. You'd never, ever think we could ever win a war over there with the defenses they had. The pillboxes all over. And they are still there.
Yes. So did you have a chance to walk to the beaches after, a couple weeks after? Did you go to you didn't go see
No.
Omaha or any of those beaches?
No, we didn't go back to the beach at all.
So then you went back to England,
I went to England for,
but then you were there when the buzz bombs were hitting?
oh yeah, they were before the
Oh.
invasion too.
Okay.
It was bad. But the English had fake dirigibles tethered, and they would stop a lot of them.
Can you tell the story again about you were at a Bobby's house and you could hear they knocked you out of bed?
Oh, it was at night, and we was just getting ready, getting to sleep, and you hear it coming, and they got up and they went. I don't know where they went, but I didn't think it was going to be anything. It didn't hurt or anything. Just a big shock and getting bounced in the air a little bit.
So the bomb hit close to the house then?
No, not too far.
What'd you do after like the bomb hit? Like, did you stay in the house or?
No, I got up and went outside and see what happened. Wasn't bad. You get used to it, and I could hear it. As long as I could hear it, I wasn't worrying about it.
Could you see them? I mean, because I know they shot some of the bombs off during the day. Could you see them coming?
Oh yeah, you could see them. Yeah.
Horrible. I don't know how they lived with that so long.
I don't either. But they were fighters.
Harry was the youngest one in his group. He was
Oh,
the
yeah.
baby.
I was the baby.
Yeah.
Still am.
I was surprised that they were that much older, because during the draft years everybody was gone at 18, but they were a lot of them. He went to the reunions, afterwards, and they were older men.
Oh yeah, they were.
Of course, you're the older now.
They were in their 30s when I was 18.
Oh, wow.
So when you were in France, did you have a chance to go to Paris or anything like that, or?
Oh yes, we had to go through all that when we advanced to these other places. And where was it? Reims, France. Yeah, we stayed there, and it was Goebbels' headquarters.
Wow,
Before we got there.
that's very nice.
And it was all shot up. And we had one of the best things that happened. Our cooks were up early in the morning, and there was a German plane flying around, and all they had was their meat cleavers and things. And the plane came down and landed, and they took that plane and all of the occupants with their meat cleavers.
They killed them?
No, they didn't.
They captured them?
Captured them all.
With their meat cleavers. And this was close to you?
Oh yeah, we were right. Our barracks was right next to the airfield. I missed out on all the fun.
Were you scared at times?
At times, oh yes.
Yes.
It had my name inside of it.
It still does.
So she was your girlfriend while you were during the war?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We went together at Creston in school.
Did you stay in touch with her while you were over there?
Part of the time. She dumped me.
You got a Dear John letter?
Yep. When he came back, he was so good looking, I took him back. Oh dear.
That's very funny. So, can we the Battle of the Bulge, you said you were there for a while. Were you there for a while then?
No, not very long. As soon as we could get gassed up, we got out of there.
Did you see any of the action there, or did you just hear it?
Just heard it.
Oh.
I didn't see any action there.
It was cold, I understand.
Oh, it was winter.
Yeah, I mean, it was really a cold winter, yeah. What was living like during the war? I mean, when you're in France living in your pub tent, was it tough, or was it something you just got used to, or?
Oh, you got used to it. They were pretty good tents. Didn't get too wet during the rainy season. But no, it was all right. And then after we got away from the hedgerows, we got bigger tents where we probably had 6-8 people in one tent.
So did your unit pretty much follow wherever George Patton went? You went with him?
Well, it wasn't basically, we weren't assigned to follow him. But it turned out that whenever he moved, we could move on up and be closer to the ends where the planes ended up.
What kind of planes did you work on?
P-51s, 47s, 38s.
So all the fighter planes. And the P-51 was probably the best fighter in the war.
Yeah. They had 47s and even had some A6s, trainers.
So you get to know all the pilots then, and or the planes you worked on, or?
Well, the pilots, for most of them, were in our outfit.
Well, you had a
assigned to it.
test pilot.
Yeah, we had test pilots.
What did he do? Test them after you glued them back together?
Yeah. After we
I
spit
wouldn't
and
take
used
that
tape.
job. Well, I wondered how come there was a test pilot? That's just to check them over.
Check the planes over.
Okay.
When we
What
got
did you eat
Oh, that's a good question.
when you were out in the field?
K rations,
Well, what's K ration?
little packages of dry food,
Not that good.
sawdust.
I thought it was spam.
Oh, that was only when you had cooks and could have a fire.
How often did you get hot meals?
Yeah.
Maybe once a week.
You know, the best branch is to go in the Navy because they ate well.
They did.
Yeah. He had 2 brothers that were in the Navy.
When you got drafted, you had no say what branch you joined. They just said you're joining.
I tried to join early, but I was so skinny and I had polio, and so they said I couldn't join. I only weighed 115 when I graduated.
Did you want to join?
Oh
before
yeah, I
you-
wanted to go. It was just as bad as everybody else did.
So how did they get to take you finally?
They drafted me.
They didn't care what you were what you were then.
I went down to Detroit
Isn't
and
that
went
something?
through the
Well, what did you
The
try to
line
join?
and
I don't remember that.
the
Harry. What branch did you try to
doctor
join?
at the end. He says, "How'd you get this far?" I says, "I don't know. Some dumb doc back there. He just kept pushing me on through."
So what'd you think when you heard the war was over?
Oh, we were happy.
Yeah.
We was assigned to come home for a 30-day recuperation leave, and then we was to report back. We was going to Japan because we had the specialty outfit for repairing planes and all that. They didn't have any over there doing that then.
Really?
So he was home.
And I was home when the war with Japan ended.
Yes.
I was down at Campbell Square.
Wasn't that strange? I mean, that was so exciting. He was home, and he doesn't have to go back, but he had to go get discharged then. And
So when were you about to head back to Japan then?
Well, it would have been,
About August then, right?
August,
Right,
yeah.
that's when the war ended.
see, I was home in July,
Mm-hmm.
and then we was going to regather and head for Japan.
So you left Germany and came home in July of 1945. Did you have a nice homecoming?
Oh yeah,
So you came home by train then, or?
how did I get home? Gosh, I don't remember. Must be I did. I honestly don't remember how I got home. I was just glad to be there.
So once Germany or Japan surrendered, you had to go back and get discharged. What was that all
Go
about?
back, and I had to stay till October.
And where was that?
I was out in Oklahoma and sent back to Bearfield, Indiana, where I got discharged at noon. I went outside with my duffel bag and stood by the road, and I put my thumb out. A guy came and he stopped in front of me and wanted to know where I was going. I says, to Michigan. He says, whereabouts? I says, Grand Rapids. He says, get in. He brought me up to Campbell Square. And I got out there, walked the block from the Pantland Hotel over to the row, or not the row, the bank building on Lyon there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cab's always around the corner. I was going to get a cab to go to her house. And I looked across the street, and my brother and his wife were just crossing the street.
Claire?
Claire and Joe.
Well, you guys have got more out of him than I've ever heard.
So what did you do after the war? Did you take advantage of the GI Bill, or what did you do?
I went to work.
Where?
First job was over at Allen Calculators as a welder. And then I didn't like welding very well, so I went and got a job printing. Van Bosch Printing on Franklin Street. And I was there for, 3-4 years. And then I went to Etheridge Company, Grand Valley Printing. Worked there for a couple of years. And then I went to Etheridge Company for a few years. And then I went to the press, and I was there for 32 years.
The Grand Rapids Press?
He liked printing. He had that in high school.
Yeah.
Did you ever stay in touch with the people you met over there and stuff, and like the people in your?
Not very many. I was the only one from Michigan in our outfit.
Wow.
And of course, when we got home, they got spread out, and I didn't keep in touch with them. But I'd go to the reunions, and first one we had quite a few, maybe 50 out of our outfit that was over 400. And the last one I was to was in '02 in San Antonio, Texas. That's where we originated the outfit. And there was 10 of us.
Wow.
And there's probably half of them are gone by now. So
He's not a great communicator. He should keep in contact with them. You know, they want to know if you're well. They want to know if you're still around. And I said to him, the phone works.
Did you have people in your outfit that were killed in the war?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the pilots
Mm-hmm.
and some of our ground crew. Of course, they were just plain stupid. One lieutenant and sergeant, they got arguing about diving, spinning. The lieutenant says you can't pull it out, and the sergeant says you can, you do it right. And they went up, and they didn't get it out. They were both killed.
Were they in single planes, or were they, they were killed in an airplane, right?
Yeah.
It crashed? You saw that?
I didn't see it. I heard about it.
Yeah.
We had one plane they had repaired, and we had guys in the tail where the tail gunners and things would be, and they went up and the tail broke off. So you had some bad experiences along with the good.
They played cards a lot. I heard that.
Yeah. Night, there's nothing else to do.
But during the day, you pretty much worked all the time.
Oh yeah,
A lot to do, huh?
every day.
How much did you like sleep at night?
Well, you usually I'll give you at least 8 hours. And if you were lucky, you could squeeze in some more. But or you do something wrong, get sent on service with somebody else, and you go and sit in a plane all day and do nothing.